lynching is going to happen. There's the jail. The lynching is going to happen. There's the jail.
Y'all heard that, right? He's going to say it again.
All Candace needs to do to avoid the pileup, I'm going to see it all tonight. The lynching is going to happen. There's
what?
The jail right over there. The lynching, the electronic lynching of Candace Owens is going to happen tonight if she doesn't say this doesn't matter. If she doesn't say Mitch is a Fed, there'll be an electronic lynching of Candace Owens. She'll electronically be drawn out of that jail right over there and hung on that tree. And hung on that tree.
First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Hung on that tree across the street. If she doesn't say Mitch is a Fed.
For you as a white man to say a black woman is going to get, I'll use the word, pinched because I don't want to have a problem with YouTube? Are you serious? So I want to ask y'all, am I crazy to think this white man literally threatened Candace Owens with a pinching? Y'all let me know, am I crazy?
If she doesn't say this doesn't matter.
If she doesn't say this doesn't matter, that is going to happen. Hey, every time you turn around, somebody's literally threatening Candace Owens. And if you don't do it, this is going to happen. Who the hell do you think you are, George Webb?
You'll find the court awarding one of Mitch's ex-wives. This is the big whistleblower that Candace is putting so much stock in.
Same to you. And like I said, I'm going to put together a fundraiser for you, imminently. So, and this is obviously it's just the first conversation we're having. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not just for sharing what happened. And I do believe you are a missing piece of this.
Remember, we say, Candace, it's a federal informant. It's a federal informant. They're trying to get you off Doge. They're trying to get you off DuPont. Given the last mafia ultimatum to Charlie before his murder, they don't want you to do the Doge audit. They're going to try to introduce a federal informant to get you thinking about something else. That's why we're in Franklin. 3 lawsuits are going to show domestic violence. 3 lawsuits are going to show the garnishment of $400,000, $415,000. They're going to show Mitch having $450,000 one day in the bank account and next day having zero.
I want to give y'all some clarity on what exactly is going on and who all these characters are, because some people may not be exactly caught up. So this guy right here is named George Webb, and he's one of the people investigating the Charlie Kirk situation, just like a lot of people. And he's somewhat the boots on the ground person that would actually go out to UVU or go to a courthouse or go here and go there. He's that foot on the ground investigative journalist type of person. And Mitch is the guy that went on Candace Owens' show and told everybody, including Candace, that he was in the room in some type of manner when these military operatives was just about to go unalive Charlie Kirk, according to his story. And on top of that, he said that he thinks he sees Brian Harpool in the room as well as Erica Kirk. So this man sent Candace Owens an email probably saying, hey, I saw Erica Kirk right before Charlie Kirk was unalived and I have all the information. But before he goes on the show, he turns around and gives her some type of scammy pity party situation about himself that says, I lost all my money. I'm going homeless. I don't have no money. If you can help, I would appreciate it. So when they go live, one of the things that actually pissed everybody off is because she turns around and raises $130,000 to $140,000 and gives it to this guy. And a lot of people are now saying on social media that the guy is lying and he scammed Candace.
If you want to defend him, Friday will be a real hard reality check for you. Okay, first thing we're going to start with is his current wife, Mitch Snow, who we're going to take first her statements that she wanted to put forward. I've talked to all of these victims at length. I've talked to his children, his son, who's coming forward this weekend as well. And then we're going to go through the court documents because all of this is going to be corroborated through the court documents. Law enforcement, prosecutor, judges, everybody has corroborated all this. Let's start with the first wife, or we'll say first victim, and we'll work our way through it, okay? So let's start here. This is going to be a statement that Lene wanted to give. We're going to read it before we get into the actual court documents that corroborate what she's saying here. But it's important because you're going to see some very common threads through all of these women's stories. Okay, so from Lene. Lene says, when I met Mitch, his name was Harry. He told me his sob story about how his ex-wife had taken his kids and he wasn't able to find them. He spent the first month of our long-distance relationship on the phone with me, nearly 40 hours per week at first, telling me his sad stories and interrogating me, learning all he could. I don't use that term lightly. He told me that he started out in the Army intelligence and was trained in interrogation techniques, and that in special forces, he was further trained in interrogation and torture. I can verify as a Green Beret, we are not trained in either interrogation or torture. That is not true. As we move down here into, again, a lot more of this as it gets darker and darker. She says, I was unaware that someone like this could exist, especially when it was someone who was presented in such a way, someone who was kind, loved animals, had a hard life, but was looking for peace, for love, and a family. It wasn't until he suddenly found the children he had with his second wife and started court proceedings through visitation that I began to see the monster he truly was. By the way, he has a bunch of kids. They have all been either abandoned or he has lost custody of through abuse. And has paid no child support to any of them. We'll get into all of that. Just to give you just to start building the character of this person.
So half the people on YouTube believe this guy and half the people on YouTube don't believe this guy. And I'm one of the people who don't believe the guy. But I like to say objective and say, okay, what if he's telling the truth? Because I like to look at the evidence and not be emotional. But I do have to be real and say I am a little emotional in this situation because not only is this guy looking or appearing to be a scammer because he's going around on different podcasts, not just Candace Owens' podcast, but different podcasts saying he fell off a roof and broke all his bones or he can't get custody of his son. And next thing you know, all these different people, not just Candace, but every podcast he goes on, they turn around and open up a GoFundMe for this guy, which seems scammy, but also he has multiple criminal situations involving DV with multiple women. And since I advocate for the safety of women, I do not like women blankers. So when I see a man that is a convicted woman blanker of many women, and it sounds like he's or has scammed people with these GoFundMe situations, I instantly look at this guy like we don't need to trust him.
Candace, here's your chance. Disavow Mitch now. Say, hey, I got fooled. Now's your chance. Say, I got fooled. Federal informant. Has nothing to do with Doge. Has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's death. Has nothing to do with DuPont. Here's your chance now to say, they fooled me. We're going to go back to Doge. We're going to go back to DuPont. Forget this. Forget this. This doesn't matter. All Candace needs to do to avoid the pileup, I'm going to see it all tonight. The lynching is going to happen. There's
what?
The jail right over there. The lynching, the electronic lynching of Candace Owens is going to happen tonight.
But dudes like this make me actually start thinking the other way and considering that Mitch may actually be telling the truth. Because why is all these birds coming out of nowhere attacking Candace, and not just attacking Candace, threatening to pinch Candace?
The lynching, the electronic lynching of Candace Owens is going to happen tonight
if she doesn't ignore this Mitch guy, because it's not just this dude.
Okay, I just have to jump on here to let you guys know that Andrew Colvett, the spokesperson for Turning Point USA, just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, trying to help orchestrate behind the scenes an alibi for Erica Kirk and Fort Huachuca. Now, why is this crazy? For those of you that don't know the backstory here, essentially, this guy, Mitch, it was very compelling, said that he saw Brian Harpole leaving this meeting at Fort Huachuca on September 9th. Now, I wanted to give him the platform after I verified where he was to tell his story, but he also had to include the part where he claims that he saw Erica Kirk the night before, also on Fort Huachuca at Candlewood Inn and Suites, okay? Now, truthfully, I put it at 50-50 because, like I said on my show, I believe that he was at this meeting was significant and that it concluded. I felt really strongly that he saw Brian Harpole. But what's his memory like? Are you good at remembering faces? Did you just see another blonde and think that it was Erica Kirk? Genuinely, I thought it was at like 50-50 until tonight, where all of a sudden there were all these attacks regarding Fort Huachuca. We didn't really know where they were coming from. You got people calling me insane. Alex Jones jumps into the foray. I'm like, what is happening right now? Why does Fort Huachuca have so many people triggered? Well, there were these YouTubers, Paramount Tactical is one of them, who was basically teasing, like, we're going to take down Mitch and show you guys that he's not a credible witness by going back and going through the files of his marriages and ex-relationships and to show you that he's an abuser. And this is going to be the end of Candace Owens' career. Like, totally weird. I never told my followers that they should go marry Mitch. I have no idea what he was doing 20 years ago in a relationship. There were no convictions against him that I could find, whatever. The point is like, we didn't know where this was coming from. Everyone was like, money must have just gone out. Like, what is happening? Well, tonight was when they did their live to expose me and accidentally exposed Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk. Now, I'm going to show you the messages. Andrew Colvett was apparently live texting this guy Erica's alibi. Now, this means Erica is sending her alibi. Why wouldn't you just send it to me? Obviously, I didn't have a horse in the race of whether or not he saw you at the hotel. You could have just been like, here's where I was on September 8th. And this whole idea of you even being there would have gone away. Instead, she sends it to Andrew Colvett to send to these obscure YouTubers who are live, and it didn't click with them that Andrew Colvett did not want them to say that he was their source. So this guy just starts live reading the messages that are coming in from Andrew Colbert, where he proceeds to give an alibi that no one asked for. He's like, this is what Erica was doing on September 9th. Okay, the guy said he saw her on the 8th. It's kind of like the Brian Harpole, where they're just like giving us alibis for times that we're not talking about. Again, I wasn't even necessarily pressuring them for an alibi, but he then proceeds to walk him through what Erica was doing on September 9th, and he's pretending like she doesn't even know what Fort Huachuca was, even though her mother has a contract with the Department of Defense and would have obviously had to have been familiar with Fort Huachuca, which is in her backyard, and in Turning Point USA's backyard as well. Again, I would like to point out that no one said Erica was in some fort, no one said she was in Tucson, and no one said that they saw her on September 9th anywhere. So I don't know what this is. It's just weird. It's a totally strange thing to say. Again, when you have an easy pathway to just reach out to me and say, hey, I saw you mention something on September 8th. Here's where Erica was. Notice that's Erica's hand. So that means Erica, the CEO of Turning Point USA, is directing the spokesperson of Turning Point USA, Andrew Colbert, to send her alibi to Paramount Tactical, as he is like going into the history of Mitch and supposed to be exposing Mitch for being a serial abuser, but actually exposes Turning Point USA. Like, you just cannot make this up. This is like a PR nightmare, a crisis. Is it just a crisis? Wait, I'm going to show you another message from Andrew, being super discreet here. Look, I'm just saying, the TikTokers are going to have a field day, okay? Bibi Netanyahu has not gotten these TikTokers out of control. They already are not feeling the vibes about Erica. Now you got this directing behind the scenes attacks on really Candace for whatever reason, but like sending them out to do videos about Mitch. And then you do this like false debunking when it's just like so like telling the truth is free. Like if you could just be like, here you go. It's going to lead people to ask questions, and it's probably the opposite thing is going to happen, where people are going to wonder if Mitch's memory was correct, and he did see Erica at Fort Huachuca on September 8th in the evening as Charlie Kirk was touching down from Tokyo into Los Angeles. So I'm just saying, this is a PR nightmare. This is just Turning Point. Ugh, man, not good, not good.
If she doesn't say this doesn't matter, if she doesn't say Mitch is a Fed, there'll be an electronic lynching of Candace Owens. She'll electronically be drawn out of that jail right over there and hung on that tree.
First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Hung on that tree across the street. If she doesn't say Mitch is a Fed.
Hung on a tree? Hung on a tree? I might be overreacting. I don't know. It might be because I'm black. I don't know. Hung on a damn tree? I don't give a damn about no electronically. He said the shit. What are you talking about? He said electronically. What the hell does that mean? So if y'all want to cancel somebody, cancel this son of a bitch.
If she doesn't say Mitch is a Fed, there'll be an electronic lynching of Candace Owens. She'll electronically be drawn out of that jail right over there and hung on that tree.
See, the thing about it is, people say things on purpose. People mean exactly what they say, but this man is trying to say electronically in order to keep himself from getting canceled or kicked off of YouTube or something. So he uses the word electronically so YouTube won't get rid of his channel. I got a distinguished panel. I got my guy Imani and I got Allie.
Hey.
So we can get into everything else with Valhalla, with Mitch, but we first have to look into what's going on here. What do y'all see? And am I crazy for thinking or interpreting that as a full-blown threat to Candace Owens' life?
When I listened to that, when you sent me that, because I seen a bit of his live stream, and then I went to go watch the whole thing. There was a couple live streams I've watched, and I had to listen to that over and over again. And I heard him say the electronic part. That in itself, I don't know what he's trying to say. That doesn't make it any better. He said it basically. He literally said he's going to be hung on a tree. So
yeah, like
yeah. So everything.
It's the wording, like
it's the wording, but the electronic part, it don't matter. That don't matter if he says that. That means nothing. He said it, and I don't know, like. I liked George Webb at the time. I don't know what's going on. Like, he blocked me and everything was good, and then he didn't block me, and then he followed me again. I really don't know what's going on. I really don't.
He
Yeah.
could have said, if she doesn't do this, they're going to cancel her. If she doesn't do this, they're going to spank her butt. If she doesn't do this, they're going to kick her off of out of the club or what. He could have said anything.
True.
He used two different scenarios that go right along with each other. And that is the thing that bothers me the most. The pinching and then the hanging from the tree.
That is wrong.
That was meant. This is fighting words. This is racist words. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I never even heard the little Nick dude say nothing this crazy. Like, I'm emotional about this. And I'm trying to just not start yelling out cussing words or whatever. I'm just trying to just, do better at stopping cussing or whatever. But I want to slap the shit out of this guy.
Said it like that.
And then as far as a woman, and it's the thing, whether it's this Mitch dude or this George Webb dude, it's almost like you can get on the internet and say anything you want to say about a woman. You could turn around and have all kinds of charges against women, and people are just going to still be on your side and listen to you and watch your shit like women don't exist. Because any man that means harm or causes harm outwardly to a woman is a piece of shit.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I did a little research and was just looking into the communication that this guy's been having the last couple of days since he started attacking Candace. And it's my humble opinion, there's got to be some money involved because none of this makes any sense.
So this was just a clip of the live stream that I did last night. If you want to watch the full live stream, click the link here or wherever it is here and watch that full live stream. Me and the Scooby-Doo mystery team break this whole thing down. Click the link and I'll see you over there.